everyone? It's Friday, which means it's time to deploy. Charlotte, where is everyone? Everyone's missing.
Yep, just us today.
Yes, life gets in the way. So Jim is heads down on code. Matt is overseas in Atlanta attending KubeCon.
All right, a bunch of folks have been asking about Argo CD all day up at Platform Engineering.
Come on, Colin.
Are we both in the frame?
Yeah.
There's a lot of foot traffic coming through here.
So it's just Charlotte and I today. Charlotte, how was your week?
Yeah, actually, it's been a good week. I had a great session just talking about what we're going to look into next year. Yeah, I guess we're going to focus on AI for the next month or so in terms of the research that Octopus is doing externally, and then deep dive into CD, which is going to be really great. And it's going to probably take about 6 months of next year, which is awesome. Yeah, I'm really
That's what we call a teaser in the business there, folks. You see how she's teasing you up with a possible delivery or two around the AI space. So are we expecting of a report of some kind?
Yeah, so the report will be coming out in the next few weeks. I do have to finish it first. It's kind of just a bit of AI integration and how it's affecting, our industry as a whole.
It's learning.
So a bit of a landscape report, and then I guess a few predictions on what we think it will turn into based on how it's currently affecting businesses. So a little bit like that, yeah.
Very nice. I, for myself, regret the alarm clock that woke me up this morning. I was up until 2 a.m. last night. I was on a webinar. We'll get to that in a moment, but I am running on about 3 hours of sleep. So if I misspeak or I say something wrong or I glitch a little bit, that's why. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into the latest news. So we've got a lot of stuff going on. Charlotte, we've got a DevOps Dozen 2025 finalist list. What is this all about? What is the DevOps Dozen 2025? Why do we care about this? What's this all about?
So this is, I guess, a set of awards that are able to showcase what we and other companies have been doing in terms of DevOps research and, what we've promoted and things over the year.
Hey, look at that.
Yep. Deploy on Friday podcast is in the first section, actually, which is awesome.
Hey.
So yeah, there's a number of segments and they each represent an award. So please jump on and, I guess push this survey to a bunch of other people if you can. We'll try and, get our nominations up. We've got a couple of really cool things in there. We've been nominated for some reports that we've done, like the State of GitOps and the Pulse report, and also some books. So Argo CD best practices and DevOps as a service, and then a bunch of other individual awards as well. We've done really well.
I feel like we're campaigning like from a stump speech here. It's like a vote for Octopus is a vote for freedom, that sort of thing. No, feel free to submit your vote now. We've got a bunch of community award sections here. Vote for your favorite DevOps related audio or video podcast, your favorite article of the year, etc. There's lots of different topics here. Feel free to let us know what you liked this year as part of the DevOps Dozen 2025 finalist list. So there you go. And speaking of the report that you mentioned earlier, we also got our publications here. So obviously folks can utilize these. We did mention one of these during our webinar, which I'll get to in a second here. But, Charlotte, how are the downloads looking of these reports? And is there a popular one? Like this strikes me as like a bookshelf of reports here. We've got our State of GitOps report. We've got our Platform Engineering Pulse report. Is there one that's like blowing everything out of the water in terms of popularity?
I think that the ones that I look at a lot are State of GitOps. So the State of GitOps is doing really well. It's been published for a while, so I guess that could explain some of it. But also it's it's quite specific. So people are using GitOps, they want to download it and they want to read about it. So it's kind of fits a very, demographic of people who want that research, but it's really popular. So State of GitOps is winning by far. I think DevOps as a service is doing really well as a book.
Okay.
And yeah, we're trying to push the compliance through CD one out as well. And that's something that we're going to go into deeper next year as well as part of research component. Yeah, which will be really good. Yeah.
Yeah. like Charlotte said, they're all free. They're available from octopus.com/publications. So make sure to grab yours, share it with your friends, tell your family. I don't know why you would, but anyways, share it with your colleagues. Let folks know that these reports are available. You can certainly gain a little bit of insight on the survey and reports we've done. And, Charlotte's done a great job of all these things. So that's awesome. The reason why I mentioned the reports and the publications we've done is because earlier today, I co-hosted a webinar with Bob and Ships entitled Your Platform's Gatekeeper Problem, Why Shared Responsibility Beats Control, where we talked about the human side. Yes, there's a human side of platform engineering. And so we decided to tackle that subject in a fireside chat. And so Bob, Ships, and I got up very early, like I said, 2 a.m., to discuss this as part of the platform engineering folks. That's TechStrong, et cetera, and those folks. And so we had a whole bunch of questions that came in, which was great. And we had a really good conversation. So if you want, you can download or watch the recording of that, which is available now. And one of the reasons why I mentioned this here is because obviously we promoted the Pulse report that we did for platform engineering. So that was one of the handouts that we made available as part of that webinar. If you're interested in other webinars, there's also the KubeCon North America 2025 recap that will be hosted by myself and Dan. So Dan will be attending, well, he is attending KubeCon right now. And so he'll be next week telling us all the things that he saw and heard. And then later on November 20th, we've got Matt and Ships talking about Platform Hub, which is a new capability of Octopus Deploy. Very cool capability. If you haven't seen it, it should be available live in your cloud instance. Basically allows you to stand up deployment processes and define those processes using templates. And now we've just turned on another capability as well, which is policies. Awesome stuff. And then wrapping things up on the webinar front, we've got Jeff and Harriet talking about ephemeral environments. Yes, folks, it's here. Ephemeral environments is now available inside of Octopus, which is fantastic. So on November 27th, you can hear the two of them talk about this capability, which is great. And really looking forward to that. And of course, we've got shows like Argo Unpacked. And speaking of shows, we've got another one coming up later on in December. I know you all are interested and keen and going to register. It's called Shipped. So in 26 days, approximately, we'll be hosting this event, and we've got a whole bunch of speakers that are now listed. So we've got the usual suspects, as we've shown you, but we have some new speakers as well. We've got Graham, for example, coming to us from HashiCorp, now a IBM company. He's going to be co-presenting with Kelly on a variety of topics there. We've got Felix, who obviously presented last year, etc. So these and other speakers we've got. Of course, we had to make sure we mentioned the fact that we're one of the best DevOps events of the year. We've been running this for 3 years, so there you go. So make sure to register. Visit octopus.com/shipped to reserve your seat today, which is great. Now, a little bit of the lighter side, Charlotte. I know that you saw this video, and a bunch of us at Octopus saw this video, but one of the videos that recently got published is this one. Your deployment process shouldn't depend on Steve. So I'd like to play this now.
Hey, why haven't we deployed yet?
Oh yeah, well, the deployment process is a bit broken.
Who's Steve?
Steve built this like 5 years ago.
And then he left.
No, we need to deploy today. Oh! Fire! Fire, fire!
Find Steve now!
Awesome stuff. So I'm a big fan of these videos. We've got a bunch of them coming out as part of a campaign to raise awareness around Octopus Deploy, etc. Your deployment process shouldn't depend on Steve. What was your first impression of this video when you saw it?
That was great. It's really funny. I'm keen for the others as well because I know that you're featured in one of them, so that would be great.
A couple of them, yeah. So we'll see. I won't reveal right now what you might see me do, but I did have to dust off my acting skills, so that was a lot of fun. So these and other ads, you're going to see these pop up on our socials, so feel free to give us a like. Feel free to, if you really liked it, feel free to subscribe, obviously. But you'll see these on our socials, as I mentioned, which is great. Another video that we recently published was this one with Iryna. Iryna is a member of our team at Octopus. She's in part the director on the product side. And so Iryna and I had a conversation about what it takes to obviously work well within a product organization and driving change within R&D, etc. And so this is part of the Life at Octopus series, which you can watch and is available up on our YouTube channel as well. So that's Life at Octopus with Iryna Melnyk. And that would be Really good. If you're interested in product, that would be a really good video for you to watch because Iryna knows everything about product. Switching gears a little bit to some of our blogs, we've got this one from Nadine talking about our LEAD program. So our LEAD program is part of the sort of various programs we have at Octopus, but in particular, we ran a leadership, a 2-day, 3-day leadership program in Brisbane. I was actually there, and basically what we did was we were trying to help identify and foster leadership within Octopus, and because we're a growing company, etc. And so we had a bunch of us join us, and you can see me there in the back. A bunch of us came together in Brisbane and had a really good time and learned a lot from each other as well as from others. And this is a blog post if you're at all interested about what we think about when we think about leadership at Octopus and how we try to encourage and promote it and foster it. And so this is a blog post from Nadine, and you can read more about this there. We've got this other blog post from Matt. I know that this is a new new podcast series from Matt called Inside Platform Engineering. His first interview that he did was with Luke Phillips. And Matt's been very busy. Obviously, he's over in KubeCon. We'll take a look. He's over in Atlanta at KubeCon. We'll take a look at those photos in a second. But if you want a rundown of the first episode of Inside Platform Engineering, Matt has provided a summary there, along with a link to the episode in question. And so you can check that out on our blog. And finally, wrapping up things on the blog side, we've got this article from Tony entitled Combining GitOps and Continuous Delivery with Argo CD and Octopus. This is part of their CD Office Hours series that Tony, Steve, and Bob run. And you can see there's lots of clips here of Bob talking about various things, including Argo CD, open source, etc. Why we chose Argo CD as part of this. So this is a blog post that summarizes that. Awesome. One other thing I just want to mention before we take a look at some photos. We're now part of the listing here for Object Context Protocol. So you may know that we're doing a lot of work around AI. And so one of the things that we've recently added ourselves to is our official MCP listing across various locations, including the Model Context Protocol.io folks. And you'll see this pop up in a bunch of different locations, but I just wanted to mention this here. We are getting ourselves registered in a variety of locations, and so you'll be able to find this stuff very easily. All right, now, Charlotte, I know you were keen on talking about some of these photos here. These are some of the photos that we had from Atlanta, where we're currently at for KubeCon and ArgoCon. ArgoCon and other pre-summit events occur before KubeCon, and we were one of the main sponsors, obviously. And you can see we have all the cool caricatures, etc. Steve was highlighted during one of the sessions here, talking about, of all things, there you go, Charlotte, the Platform Engineering Pulse Report. So Steve was mentioned there as part of that, which is great. Must be really gratifying to see this, at various conferences, etc., all the way across the other side of the world. The report that you had a lot of impact on get mentioned.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I think that it's funny because it came out a little while ago, and I feel like because everyone was really busy with other things, it is just taking off, which is great. I mean, you've just done a webinar on it too, and then Steve also did a session in London last night.
Yes.
The report. So yeah, it's really exciting to see
getting the word out.
Yeah, it's great. It's great to see. Yeah.
This is what our booth looks like, or looked like at KubeCon, I guess, depending on when you're watching this. But we had this big, giant booth. I call this the Tron sort of booth. It's those like Tron hover things that they have. They kind of look like that. But it's a really cool booth design we came up with a couple of years ago. We started going with it. Allows us to have a really good demo area on both sides. And so this was the crew getting ready. That's Jenny there, our fearless leader, on the event side, talking to the crew there about what we need to do. You can see Matt in the background there standing, listening intently, and then there's Joanna, who's our CMO. There's Bob there sitting down. He's like, I need to take a seat. I'm gonna get tired. Sean and others I can see in there, Rob, etc. So good stuff. Here's Dan, who did a interview with Alan of TechStrong, and I love Dan's expression here. Let me see if I can zoom in here. You might find this interesting. Dan's got that look on his face like, yeah, we're having a good time. It's just fun. I think Dan's a seasoned veteran of KubeCon, which is great to see. Here's Colin doing an interview. So Colin here on the right, he's our SVP of product. Then we've got others like Bob talking to the folks over at the New Stack. So we were really busy. We've been doing lots of stuff here. Yet another report. There you go, Charlotte. Another mention of the State of GitOps report during one of the sessions here during one of the pre-cons. So there you go.
Yeah, that's great.
Look at you. You're impacting far and wide, which is great.
Out there, which is great.
Yes. And we had Liam up on stage. He does a lot of talking around Kubernetes. He's our lead cloud engineer on the modern deployments team. And there was lots of photos of him speaking on stage. Well, there's always the photo of holding the fish, as I like to call it. It was this big.
I once caught a fish this big.
Oh, yeah? I once caught a fish this big.
Sort of thing. It seems like every time you do a public talk, it's always this way. I got lots of photos of me on stage going like this, and everyone always says, it was this big, Awesome. Yeah, exactly. So, great stuff. So anyways, those are just some of the photos that were present at KubeCon, and we're having a great time there. Of course, the next event we're looking forward to is AWS reInvent, which is going to be taking in the fabulous city of Las Vegas, and we will be there. You'll find all of these up on our events page at /events. So if you happen to be at one of these events, feel free to swing by the booth and let us know. We'd love to have a chat with you. And now it's time for Support on Friday. Support on Friday is a segment that we do every week where we talk about an advice a thread that comes up on our advice channel. You can follow along. If you happen to visit our Slack, you can go and register at octopus.com/community. Anyways, Edwin here writes, "Hi all, I need some help. When our customer did an Octopus Deploy polling installation in their server, they had an error below. Any ideas that cause error?" So for those who don't know, a polling tentacle, which is basically a little piece of software that calls back to Octopus. And there's two types of tentacles. There's a listening tentacle and a polling tentacle. The reason why they differ is because a polling tentacle will call home basically and ask, "Hey, do you have any work for me? Hey, do you have any work? What's happening?" etc. Whereas a listening tentacle will actually receive events emitted by Octopus. So it's actually just waiting for events to come to it. It's just a different architectural pattern, and it helps for getting around firewall issues. So in this instance here, you can see they're attempting to run tentacle.dll, which is obviously that's what this is our polling tentacle. And you can see here there's an issue here. This is a well-known port, 10.943. It's actually in Wikipedia, believe it, of all well-known ports across the internet. This one is actually mentioned. I don't know if you knew that, Charlotte, but there you go. Yep. And then registering the tentacle with the server. This is obviously with Octopus Cloud, so Trail D. I don't know what company this is, but detected automation environment. And then you do not have permissions to perform this action. This is a common occurrence. Sometimes a lot of customers may not know how to resolve this because permissions can cause problems. So Finian jumped in and said, "It looks like the user who owns the API key, which is the primary way in which you talk back to Octopus. There are other ways like OIDC, but API keys is the predominant way. It doesn't have, and there's this permission set we have, machine create permission in the XO space. So the XO space is the space that they defined. That's, you can see here, it's their space, the customer's space. They defined it here. But you can see here, there's the API key that's started off, there's asterisk out. So the API key that's associated with that permission is not qualified, and so therefore you have to make sure that you can resolve that permission. And then Finian went on to mention that there's a permissions tool that we have, a test permissions tool that you can check out, which is up at our docs page. And then he went on to say, "I would guess that the user is part of the everyone team rather than being included in space managers." I love the names of these. Space managers is the name of my 1980s rock band, I guess. Space managers, that's a great name. Or another team that includes the machine create role. And so Edwin goes on to say, "Thank you very much." So yet another example of our support team doing a kick-ass job, which is awesome to see. Anyways, so Charlotte, just wrapping things up, any final thoughts before, I guess we can say hi to Matt. He'll be watching this, and Jim. Their heads down, so hopefully you guys are okay.
Actually, yeah, so it might come out tomorrow. I think that we will post another blog, and it's going to be on the compliance through CD report.
Cool.
So, yeah, if you do want to check that out, I thought it might have been published by now, but I think it's been delayed because of all the other really cool blogs coming out. So yeah, if you do want to check it out, that'll be posted soon, and it's got some really great findings. And yeah, I think it's going to lead into a lot of other further research on this field, which is Cool.
Subscribe to our RSS feed, please and thank you. We do have an RSS feed for our blog. I think it's hosted by FeedBurner, actually, if I remember correctly. That's a big callback to the knots of 2000s. Anyways, from all of us, on behalf of Jim and Matt, who obviously are not here, and Charlotte and myself, happy deployments, everyone. We will see you next week. Take care.